Normally you wouldn't book a holiday on the week you were going, but we decided to try it out.
Let's start with some context. It was the October half-term holiday, and it had been a long time since we'd been away.
We really wanted a little break, so we found the cheapest holiday available.
After a whole 10 seconds of searching, we found a trip to
La Rochelle.
It cost just under £400 for 2 nights. This included the flights and hotel for 4 people. A few days later, we woke up really early to drive down to the airport.
We got through the airport really quickly as we only took backpacks with us to save money.
We recommend bringing backpacks on short city breaks, as a checked bag can cost twice as much as your place on the flight.
The flight was only about an hour, but that was enough to have the usual chaos of a Ryanair flight breaking out, like a baby screaming so hard that the plane nearly burst open.
After we landed, we went to passport control where they had really funky music.
Transfers in La Rochelle are extortionate, so we decided to take the public bus to our hotel. The bus was packed, but very reasonably priced.
We stayed in the Maison du Monde Hotel, which was a nice little modern hotel right next to the port. We were plonked in room 220, and it was nice and modern, but it didn't let much natural light in. It was also right next to an ice cream shop, so we could freeze our heads off if we wanted to.
The bathroom was okay. It had a shower bath, a sink, and a toilet hidden behind a secret door. It's great for making people jump when they walk into the bathroom. After we checked into the hotel, we headed straight out into the city.
The city of La Rochelle looks quite old, but pretty at the same time. You can find lots of gift shops and restaurants. There are also some tourist attractions. These include La Grande Roue, a big wheel in the middle of the city.
A boat to Ile de Ré, the island next to La Rochelle, which is only 18 miles away.
A boat tour around an ancient fort.
And an enormous aquarium. We decided not to go as it was rather expensive.
At night, the city lit up purple, which was quite odd but also pretty.
Our hotel served a delicious French breakfast with lots of vegetarian options, so we decided to eat there on our one morning in La Rochelle.
Because this was our first trip to France, we decided to try some famous French food. This included crepes and croissants. We also had some delicious hot chocolate.
We also had some French fries, but we discovered that they were invented in Belgium when we got home. There weren't many vegetarian food options, but there is always something available, even if it isn't traditional French cuisine.
There are lots of bakeries in La Rochelle, and we even managed to get some massive meringue things in one of them, which were delicious. When we were in the bakery, we managed to have a whole conversation in French, then the lady just said, "Thank you, goodbye." She could clearly tell our French wasn't the best.
Having a day and a half in La Rochelle was quite awkward, as we didn't have time to venture out on boat tours or go to Ile de Ré, which meant that we had to stick to wandering around and looking in lots of shops.
While we were wandering around, Dave crashed into a large block of concrete. Make sure you look out for these. Anyway, we think it would be better to go for 3 days, as that would give you just enough time to explore everything there is to do.
We also think that it would be a bad idea to stay for more than 4 days, as you would completely run out of things to do.
We woke up really early in the morning to get our flight home, and the buses ran all through the night.
This was great, but you do have to check the bus timetables, as some of the buses don't go in full circles, so you could end up in the wrong place if you take the same bus back to the airport as you did from the airport to your hotel.
We then went to the abysmal airport and sat and waited for our flight for about an hour, as there's absolutely nothing to do there.
Because of time zone differences, our flight technically took 3 minutes.
We think that La Rochelle is beautiful, especially as it's so cheap, but it wouldn't be a good idea to go for a long time, as it gets quite repetitive.
We probably wouldn't go back to La Rochelle, as we've done nearly everything there is to do, but it was a nice getaway for a couple of days.